Hello out there. This is your how-to video. How to make your jack-o'-lantern. It is a jack-o'-lantern with a very specific mathematical name. What's the name? You'll see. But first, I just want you to have fun cutting out, carefully, cutting out the shapes. And notice that when I cut out these shapes, I try to cut with the waist on the right. Some people like to cut so that the waist is on the left. I think this is how some people cut. But for me, I like to cut with the waist off the scissors to the right because I'm a right-handed cutter. So with right hand, I cut like this so I can see the line and how close my scissors are to the line. If you were a left-hander, let's see, try to get this out of here. If you're a left-hander, I would flip it. For example, a lefty, just get this out of the way. All right, get that. Lefties, for example, would want the waist on their left. So, for example, I'm cutting here, and I can see where the lip of 4 is. Woo. As you can see, I'm much better with my right hand. That was interesting practice. So go ahead and cut out on the straight, the solid line. If it's a dotted line, don't cut that. Dotted line. The dotted line is what you're going to need. Is a fold. So those of you who've done paper craft before, maybe you know that. But those of you for whom this is new, if you see a solid line, you cut it. And if you see a dotted line, I'm going to show you how to use the ruler to fold. Okay, so cut all that out on the solid line. Take your time with it, and second videos coming soon. All right, took a little while, but I'm glad I took my time because it finally looks like a jack-o'-lantern. So the trick is to see this, the numbers. Where'd 7 go? Anyway, 7, I think 7 and 8 form the eyes. See, those are the eyes. And then down here, those are going to be the teeth. Something like that. All right, so before I glue, though, I'm going to spread it back out and get my, retrieve my messy art pad. So again, I try to use the same big messy art pad. So every time I'm going to do something involving paint, for sure, I am ready. So my art pad. I don't know if I need my ruler, but I'll keep it nearby. And my paint. And the other thing is a water for tin. I'm sorry, a little tin cup for water. And the only thing I'm using today is going to be orange. And I'm really wondering if I'm going to do this side. Yeah, I'm going to do this side. All right, so I'm going to paint all this orange except for the numbers. I'm not going to paint those numbers orange because I want that to be able to glue together. So picture that orange. All right, so I've cut out all of the extra. So everything that's left is going to make the it's going to make the jack-o'-lantern. It's just hard to envision because it doesn't really look like a jack-o'-lantern at all. So the instructions say to use a ballpoint pen to help fold the paper, but I'm noticing if I just use a ruler and I hold the ruler against the dotted line, I can get it to fold better if I just do that. So I'm going to tinker with using the ruler, putting it on the dotted line, and just pushing up. Notice how I lift the paper and I run my hand against the paper in the back. So on the dotted side, or grid side, the dotted line, I lift up the paper on the dotted line and I push on the grid paper and it folds up. And then of course I want it to fold back. Well, actually, maybe I don't. Maybe I want I might want this to show. Either way, I'm gonna practice folding this, and when I'm done, I'm gonna get out the watercolor and I'm gonna watercolor this. The reason I photocopied it larger is so that it'd be easier for you to fold everything, and the reason I photocopied it on this heavy paper is so that you can watercolor it, because I think watercolor is one of my newfound favorite art supply. I used to like markers and colored pencils, but lately I've been getting into watercolor. And it's not easy to work with. Watercolors aren't easy to work with at first. You have to get used to them. But once you do get used to them, woo-wee, it's a good art medium. All right, so I'm getting there. Have fun. Again, take your time with this. This is not something you want to rush. If you rush, you might run the risk of becoming frustrated. So I'm gonna keep trying to fold all this up. See what happens. Okay, part 3 coming soon. All right, so this is now orange, and it's pretty wet. I heard myself tell you to go slow, and then I went too fast, and look, now it's soggy. Hopefully it'll dry out. So while that's drying, I took an extra and I turned it over, and this is going to be the inside. This will be the inside of the. It's going to be the inside of the jack-o'-lantern. And I started a pattern where I did 4 marker, and then I'm going to alternate marker, color, pencil, marker, color, pencil. And I don't know if you have started painting already. If you've started painting already, you can do like me, and you could do this after you paint, after that dries. So after that dries, I'm going to do something like this on the back. But since I have an extra, I just thought I'd start the extra. So I picked an arbitrary place in the middle and began coloring a pattern. I thought the other thing I used to like as a kid was I really liked checkerboard patterns. I used to have checkerboard, like when, what was it, breakdancing was a big thing. I used to have these checkerboard shoelaces, which were a prized possession of mine. So checkerboard is what I went with. You can do any design on the inside you want. I think it's gonna. I'm curious what that's gonna look like once I cut this out, and we can look inside and see the checkerboard. All right. So just something else, some mindful coloring to consider while I let this dry. All right, dry. So the other item that I painted is still drying, taking its time drying. So I'm going to continue with this, and I am glad I did, because I think some of you may choose to go this route and color your jack-o'-lantern, mathematical jack-o'-lantern. Color it with the grids, alternating pattern like this. And you don't have to do orange, of course. You could do different colors. I just happen to be in the pumpkin orange frame of mind. I have my orange pants on. I don't know if you can see that. My orange pants on today. And Halloween tends to be an orange day. So yeah, I'm liking how this looks. And I folded it like I showed you using a ruler. And there's something about that's appealing to me. I'm curious how that's going to come out. So I think I'll do one of each. I'll do the grid side out, so I'll keep coloring this, and I'll do the watercolor, and then you'll be able to, by looking at those, you'll be able to choose which you would prefer for your mathematical jack-o'-lantern. Okay.